Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. I'm not gay. So why is it so important to prove that the Jews are not chosen? Bear with me. Well, there are many reasons. First of all, you have to honor the Creator. Another good reason is that there's too many people who are rich, including Jews, who believe that if you take a grain of sand from their beach, so to speak, that their whole beach experience is ruined. They think that they should have some kind of secret law and rules that make it so that if you take a grain of sand from their beach, that you ruin, or from the beach rather, that you ruin their beach experience. What I mean by this is, if somebody in Antarctica or across the world is showing you up, do you have to scramble to sabotage that person to feel better about yourself? So somewhere in your subconscious, you're aware of that, but you don't have to think about that. It doesn't really affect you. But they believe that they should sabotage that person. Some people say things like, it's a white man's world and they want everyone to fall in line, follow suit, what have you. Some people say things like the Jews are chosen. They want everyone to, quote unquote, fall in line, follow suit, what have you. And of course, the white, the Jew, and the LGBT people should not be governing the world, in its entirety. Doesn't take a genius to see that. Nor should they be unfairly governing America. Doesn't take a genius to see that. So there's too many LGBT people who think that if the world isn't behaving in a way that conveys LGBT spirits and expression, that it's ruining their life or something. So going back to the Jewish argument, the Jews who want you to believe that they're chosen, those particular Jews, want you to believe that so that they can enslave you. So they can enslave you. If you look at their behavior, their posture, their demeanor, their composure, if you look at them carefully when they're explaining their view on it, it is very clear. They have a certain arrogant way about them, a certain mischievous way, a certain deceitful way that is crystal clear. Remember, I'm the top martial artist ever possible. I examine people very carefully. A child should be able to tell you that they explain it in a way that is condescending and arrogant. And by now, a child should be able to tell you that they're wrong. So why do they insist on it anyway? Because they're like those particular Jews that insist on it are like a slave master with a whip who says, do what they say because they said so. They might want you to eat your kid, or to run around naked, or to do detestable sex acts on them. And they just want you to do what they say. So, first and foremost, they're wrong to argue that they're chosen. Secondly, they want to abuse the hell out of people. And they use that as a sort of mechanism to do so. Okay, so now, how does Proverbs 17:2 negate the arguments that are being made by the opposition view in regards to Leviticus 26:44? Well, Leviticus 26:44 is talking about the spirit of people who obey God, right? Noah, Nimrod, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the story all were in the same spirit. The covenant made with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, what have you, was that if they obey God in the same spirit that Abraham and Noah were in when they were doing the right thing, to keep it simple, that God will not forsake them. And Proverbs 17:2 clarifies this. It says that a prudent servant will rule over a disgraceful son and share the inheritance as one of the family, which shows you that the Jews are not given a position above everyone else by God. Those who are more righteous are given that position. And Proverbs 16:12 overkills it, right? The throne is established in righteousness, not the flesh, and in justice. And so what is being said in Leviticus 26:44 is what I say is being said clearly, and not what the opposition view says is being said.